Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee and Headlines. This is our morning get-together live here on Facebook. Yes, it is Friday, I know. This is our live get-together here on Facebook where we exchange headlines and comments and ideas and topics and suggestions and context so that we can better connect with our city, Puerto Vallarta, as a community of English-speaking locals. As always, it is a pleasure to get together with you. And as we do now, we're going to go through our news, and then we're going to get a little bit more chitty-chatty. We are short on news today. There's not a lot of news, but what we have is interesting and important. So we are going to share the news, and then we will proceed to have a little bit of conversation about what's new, what's going on, and so forth and so on. So let me just get started with what we have, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so we've been knowing that U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris is scheduled to have a meeting with Mexico President Andrés Manuel López Obrador today. This is a virtual conference. She will be visiting our country next month after our elections. But I like this article a lot because it gives us a little bit more context on what Andrés Manuel López Obrador was hoping to discuss with Kamala Harris. The meeting has actually already happened because it's early in the morning, but they already had the meeting. But what our president wanted to discuss is farming projects in Central America, among other things. At present time, and I found this really interesting, there are two programs established by the Mexican government. One of them is called Sembrando Vida, and that would mean to plant life. And the other one is called Jóvenes Construyendo el Futuro, Youth Constructing the Future. And these two programs provide financing to Central American families in Honduras, El Salvador, and soon in Guatemala, financing for families to work on the reforestation of their communities. Such development, at least in theory, would serve as an incentive for these families to have a source of income and a better life at home instead of migrating north. As such, Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador was hoping to discuss this with Kamala Harris and the United States participation on these programs so that they can be expanded to other areas in Central America and southern Mexico. We don't know for a fact if they got around to talking about this. There are already headlines of the meeting that took place. The headlines are sketchy, as most of these news items are when something has just happened. And apparently they also talked about violence and immigration and all these problems that, for better or for worse, seem to plague our borders. So I hope we will learn more details in the future as to what went on in this meeting. because I personally found these programs for Central America quite interesting. I had no idea that Mexico was developing such programs. Good for Mexico. Um, we brought you cemetery restrictions. We brought up cemetery restrictions a couple of times this week, and I just wanted to let you know that these restrictions are in place as of today. So unless you actually have a loved one at any of the local cemeteries and are planning on visiting for Mother's Day, these days, along with Day of the Dead, are probably just about the worst days in which you may want to consider just waltzing into a local cemetery just to see what goes on there. So kindly consider staying put and not visiting local graveyards or cemeteries until after Mother's Day. Let me switch over to the weather. And I'm seeing some interesting comments that you're posting. We'll get to those in a little while. Does it count as spring cleaning if I rid the entire planet of human beings? Asks our snarky carrot weather today. I don't think that is a good idea, but what I do know is that the current temperature is 25 degrees or 78 degrees Fahrenheit. Our humidity is high, 67%, which is a shame because today is house cleaning day for me, and I'm going to get all schwitzy, but somebody's got to do the dusting around here. Our weather forecast for today is partly cloudy through the day with a high temperature of 30, low temperature of 22. Tomorrow, we can expect a humid day with a high temperature of 31 and a low temperature of 23. Sunday is going to be a mostly cloudy day, high temperature 32. There we go. We're onto the 32s now. And a low temperature of 23. And that's our weather for this weekend. I don't know what you're up to, but if you're up to anything fun this weekend, please let us know in a comment, and we will take a look at those comments after we are done with the news. And of course, if this is the first time that you're visiting us, I forgot to mention that earlier, let us know that you're new by writing the word new in your comment, and we'll be happy to welcome you aboard. Our favorite drag brunch is going away. Mercurio drag brunch is going away at the end of this month. I wanted to let you know, in case you haven't stopped by to enjoy the drag brunch at Hotel Mercurio, it is yummy food and yummy fun. There's always live entertainment going on. There's a whole accessory station for you to go and dress up if you want to wear some accessories or chingaderas to feel fabulous. But, you know, makeup, I've been told, runs in humidity. And so now it's getting warmer, it's getting humid. So Hotel Mercurio has decided, well, no more brunch for now. But the very legendary Sunday parties are coming back to Hotel Mercurio at the beginning of June, with taking in mind, of course, all the current restrictions that are in place. But if I wanted to let you know that in case you haven't checked out Mercurio's Drag Brunch, you are welcome to give it a go in the Sundays that remain during this particular month, during the month of May. And I also wanted to let you know that I spotted these conversational Spanish classes at Art Vallarta. I'm sure that a lot of you are concerned about improving your Spanish. And I'm wondering what do you do to improve your Spanish? Are you taking Spanish classes? Are you, just watching a lot of Spanish telenovelas? What are you doing to improve your Spanish? If this is a goal of yours, I would imagine that some of you may find it important because you either live here or you are in harmony with Puerto Vallarta as a home. So. But in case you're looking for something to do with Spanish, there are these conversational Spanish classes. I don't know what kind of level they have, but Art Vallarta is well known for having all kinds of really interesting courses and classes that are art related, of course. So keep it in mind. If you've never been to the space, it is totally funky and wonderful and creative and artistic. And I will leave you the information in the show notes, so that you can find out more about these activities. And as I said before, there's not a lot of other news to report right now. Local news continue to be plagued. I will give you an overall overview of what I've been reading a lot about or what the trends are. There's a lot of news going on right now regarding the local elections and what the different candidates are promising and so forth and so on. And it's all, I continue to find it confusing and overwhelming. So I continue to not have organized some kind of overview. I'm going to wait for the debates that will take place later on this month. Other bits of news that are sounding quite loudly in my board is things that are related to that terrible accident in Mexico City. It is unfortunate that a lot of politicians are trying to take advantage of the situation to turn it into a political thing. There's been that crazy item about someone that thought, well, I'm a miracle because I survived. And then there were newspaper articles throwing shade on the conductor, the guy that was running the subway car, because he doesn't feel remorse. And why should he? He was just driving. I mean, the bridge collapsed under him, so he was just driving. So anyhow, there's obviously not going to be any clear answer as to what went on there until there is an actual inquiry. But some of the theories that I'm reading on the papers really do make me feel sad for the state of editorial and news delivery these days in Mexico. There are some notable exceptions of great newspapers and great writers, but it is very sad. It is very sad. But we work with what we have, and these are the news that I had for you today. Let me now switch over to chit chatty mode. If you have a lot of things to do today and you want to be on your merry way, have a great weekend. But for the rest of us that could use a little bit of conversation, here we are. Let's take a quick look at who is in the house so that we can have a little bit of chit chat. I want to tell you about my lovely day yesterday. What do we do first? Do I tell you? No, let me say hello first. That's only polite. Brett is here from Mazatlan. I'll have you know, Brett, that I enjoy the fact that you participate. I know that you don't live here. I know that you have a timeshare in town, but you are my constant reminder that I want to visit your city before the year is over. Sherry is obviously in the Lake of the Ozarks. It's nice to see you. Michael, please tell us how your surgery went. I don't know, and we don't need details if you don't want to share them, but just let us know that you're feeling okay. Please let us know that things worked out as planned so that we can continue to send good vibes your way. Trucha says, thank God it's any day. And I love that because sometimes days seem to just meld into each other. And I don't know. Sometimes my friend Michael was asking me yesterday, so what's new? I'm like, well, we get up, we feed the cat, we put together the news, we do some crocheting, and then we go to sleep again. We take walks and we go do photographs, and that's okay. That's okay. We like our simple days, at least right now. And of course, my friend Michael, I was referring to my dear Michael Buford, my dear friend, because yesterday I had the opportunity to have lunch at one of his restaurants and dinner at another one. I might as well just give some shout outs here because I had lunch at Poblanos, which is Michael's wonderful Mexican restaurant right across the street from Parque Lázaro Cárdenas. I enjoyed some wonderful fajitas, some fajitas. And but what was absolutely stellar were these spicy mango margaritas. Oh my God, they were absolutely delicious. And then I had dinner with other friends at Siam Cuisine, and I was long overdue for some Thai food. It was absolutely delicious. And in the middle of this all, I knew that I would have some leisurely time to myself in Colonia Emiliano Zapata. So I didn't know what I was going to do. So I brought my Walking Wednesday. I brought my Walking Wednesday gear in case I decided to spontaneously go on a walk. And I also brought my latest crochet project, my scarf, and I decided to stay with the scarf. I perched myself at Page in the Sun, which is right next to Michael's Mexican restaurant. And shout out to Page in the Sun. What a wonderful place that is. You can sit outside, you can sit inside. I chose to sit inside. And the soundscape of the place is absolutely, and I hope I'm not boring you with this, but the soundscape of the place is delicious because they play very mellow music. So I was sitting close to where the art exhibition is. And you can hear a little bit of chit chat, but you're not really listening. And all of a sudden, the blender goes on. And all of a sudden, you can hear people laughing and more music. And I literally sat there for about 2 hours working on my scarf that doesn't want to be a summer scarf anymore. Now it seems intent on being a shawl rather than a summer scarf. And I figured, well, if you want to be a shawl, you can be a shawl. And I'm wondering if you are wondering how to say shawl in Spanish. In English, it is SHAW. In Spanish, it's a lot simpler. We call it chal. So I was working on my chal. And so it was a great time at Page in the Sun, a great time at Poblanos, a great time at Siam Cuisine. Let's see, moving right along. Fires, question mark, smoke. Yes, there's still, I don't see any fires on the hill, but it's been smoky, and I wonder if part of the reason why I'm feeling congested is because of what's going on over there. Noi just sneezed. Sawazdika. That has to be a sneeze, or either that or a hello. Hello, Noi. It's great to see you. Let's see what else we have here. Kelly, I saw this comment going by earlier today about immigration. I thought they were fleeing the violence. I would not know the specific answer to that. Kelly, I'm not entirely sure that it is always about violence that people flee countries. I know, for example, that right now things are really bad in Colombia, violence speaking. But I also know that people leave countries in Central America and even in Mexico. A lot of people are wanting to go north in search of better opportunities. And there is this ingrained idea, for better or worse, that you go north and there are better opportunities. And that may or may not necessarily be the case. So it is a complicated issue. All I can say is that I'm happy that Mexico is working on programs that entice people to take advantage of what they have, and not so much go elsewhere looking for things that they may or may not be able to get. I hope that makes sense. Let's see. Den is saying hello, missing Versailles and missing Artisan Bakery. We think about you a lot, and I hope you and Kathy are doing great. And Dave expands on what I was talking about. Yes, it's a complicated issue, but I'm glad that some people some countries, some politicians are working on things like that. Christy is going to have baseball tonight with kids and friends. That sounds like a lot of fun. Pat is having a yard sale this weekend. In preparation for selling my house and retiring to Mexico, Mazel Tov. I hope it goes well. Let's see what else we have. Brett is taking a community college Spanish class, and I also use italki. I don't know what italki is. It must be an application that I'm not familiar with. Feel free to let us know about that if you'd like to. Oh, Jody is working with Duolingo. I have been hearing a lot about Duolingo. I have not tried Duolingoing. Bronica is listening to many podcasts. Good for you. Let's see. Michael, you're still not telling us how you're doing after your surgery. Let us know. More Duolingo users. This is good to know. Interesting. Was planning on meetups with Spanish speakers, says Lena. But COVID. I understand that. But please know that there are these conversational groups. As you started feeling more comfortable going to spaces, just consider these conversation things. Butterfly Spanish is a good resource on YouTube. I'm not familiar with it, Tony, but thank you very much for sharing that. I'm sure that this will be helpful to some people. 30 minutes in bed with a Spanish-speaking person 2 semesters of formal Spanish classes. Así es como aprendí yo. That's how I learned. So does this mean that if I get myself 30 minutes with a Frenchman in bed, I will become fluent? I should try that. Find me a French speaking boyfriend for a month or two, and maybe, just maybe, I will learn some French. Let's see. Yeah, 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 yeah. Ronnie says she's leaving in the morning. Will enjoy from Massachusetts. Well, we're always here, Ronnie. Whenever you need to reach out and have some local memories, you know where to find us. Um, Mark, thank you very much for that comment. I actually saw that Art Vallarta has a class on ceramic beads, how to make ceramic beads, and I thought that was absolutely, absolutely wonderful. Again, it's a fabulous spot. It's a great space. They have a great Facebook page. I'm going to share it with you so that you can see what the different offers are. I really enjoyed House of Flowers, says Pat Rees, and watching in Spanish with English subtitles is always a great idea. Um, Anyone from the cluster received the Con Todo coffee from the Kennons? I can't wait to get home to Fort Lauderdale to use mine. I actually am not familiar with that incentive from the Kennons. I imagined you are referring to the Kinetic Kennons, whom I actually haven't met, but I have respected from afar because they do a really good job at taking their own stance on what it's like to be in Mexico. And they do a lot of fun things with their video editing, which I don't get a chance to do. But yes, that's wonderful. Let's see. Let's see. Surgery, thank you, Michael. Surgery went fine. I had cornea transplants and it went well. I had the first one last month and then the next eye on Tuesday, and I behaved this time and did not ask the anesthesiologist over for a drink. Good for you. Good for you. Would appreciate recommendations for other shows in Spanish subtitled. Oh my goodness, Susan, there is so much on Netflix. If you have Netflix, there are just a ton of shows on Netflix for you to consider. But if I think about a specific one, I'll be happy to share. I see some comments about Page in the Sun. I'm so very glad that you guys enjoy that space as much as I did. And I was mindful through the whole thing. You know, you never want to be one of those people that just takes a spot at a restaurant and just sits there all afternoon without consuming. Needless to say, I kept ordering and I made sure that I was not overstaying my welcome, over welcoming my stay, that I was not spending too much time there. One of those things. Is the fire close to Casablanca? The fire that I saw on the hill is not close to Casablanca. Angelica, it is closer to Conchas Chinas. Um, Mihal recommends Monarca. Monarca is very good. I don't remember if it has English subtitles or not, but that is a good show to watch. Absolutely. It turns out that our friend Noe was not sneezing; she was saying hello, as I imagined. um, Mushi had dinner at El Caloso last night. Interesting neighborhood. Yes, there are a couple of up and coming restaurants in El Caloso. There's one outdoors that I've heard of, and I am forgetting. The name of it. And there's a couple of indoor restaurants that are really, really good. Matthew asks, "Are you considering doing more interviews?" He wants to know more about the cute boy that does psychic readings at Mystic Cafe. Um, I am definitely doing more interviews as the opportunity arises. I'm trying not to promise anything because then I want to make sure that I keep my promises. But I'm always walking around, Matthew, with my microphone and with my gear. So whenever the situation presents itself, I'm happy to get into interview mode for you guys. Um, Oh, this is fabulous. italki is a service that connects online students and teachers. You then use their app or Zoom to have lessons. Interesting. I've never tried that before, but this might be something for you guys to consider. Uh, Taco Chronicles are excellent. I don't remember if Taco Chronicles is subtitled, but that's another great show to watch on Netflix. Absolutely. Uh, Memo Lira, who I should give a shout out. Hello, Memo. Memo does a lot of walking tours around the city. And if Memo is recommending something, anything that Memo Lira recommends is something that I would recommend if you ever want to go walking around the city with a local that will provide you with excellent English explanations of what goes on and who we are and how we live and so forth and so on. Memo Lira is your guy. And now that I've said that, Memo, if you want to give yourself a shout out and give us your Facebook page for people to see, that would be super, super cool. Dave talks about De Cortes. De Cortes is one of the restaurants in El Caloso that I've heard wonderful things about. Somebody else mentions De Cortes. Lloyd, thank you very much for that. La Fina is the other one. Yes, thank you very much, Mushi. La Fina is the other restaurant that I have heard about. Claudia also gives a shout out to De Cortes. Thank you very much, Claudia. Please say hello to Carmen for me. I hope you guys are doing great. Let's see. Under promise, over deliver. You never disappoint, Paco. I try my damnness, Karen. Thank you very much for that remark. It makes a big difference. I love the fact that you guys have all these wonderful suggestions. And David, don't worry, we are about to wrap up the show. So I hope you have a good conference, and I hope you have a great weekend. And Brett endorses Memo Lira. Again, he is a great resource to our city. And this wraps up our coffee and headlines for today, Friday. Tomorrow we'll get together again. My exterminator. There's Memo's little shout out. Thank you very much. Vallarta101.com is the website that Memo is using to promote his activities. Very, very highly recommended. Anyhow, I'm getting my house clean this afternoon in preparation for the exterminator, who's starting to go back into monthly appointments. As you know, once it starts raining in Puerto Vallarta, all those lovely little ants and other critters love to come out and play. Between now and the next time that we get together, please stay happy, stay kind, stay healthy, learn Spanish, eat tacos, and stay in touch. I hope to see you soon. Hopefully, maybe even tomorrow. Have a great day.